Are you a new realtor and you're thinking about doing cold calling? And there's so many different programs out there that you can use for your cold calling. Well, in this video, I'm going to talk about Vulcan 7 and my experiences over the first month of using it as a new realtor in the state of Georgia. And Vulcan 7 is a pretty cool software. It does have a dial out system with a whitelist number. For those who don't know, whitelist number is a number that's kind of connected to your phone number, but they put it in the system and make sure that it's not doesn't show up as spam or anything in caller IDs. The cheapest setup I got was the $2.99 a month for expired leads only. I mean, overall, the software is pretty easy to navigate and move about. Pretty straightforward. I mean, you just select your little area, or they kind of set up like your radius when you first get the software. And then every day you go on there and you can pull up the days expired for your radius. My radius was 50 miles from my home. I believe I was getting like about 40 daily expired listings. Some were even more than that. I mean, really, of course, with real estate, not everything expires the same amount every day, but so I mean, that was good. Once you get into it and you set up your dialer system, then you start making your calls. Now, if you do use Vulcan 7, I would advise you to use the pause and preview selection before you enter into the dialer, and that way you can get a look at the information. Maybe it's land and you don't want to sell land. Maybe it's commercial, you're not doing commercial, or maybe the location isn't right. I ran across some properties that honestly I thought maybe were just too low to be worth my time, but I still called them, especially in the beginning. I'm not call everybody. I would advise you to do that. But overall, so the first month I got, which was a discounted month, was $199 for 30 days, and it was expired listings, of course, current going back to 3 months. So some of those old expires, if you're looking to call some old expires, which a lot of people are, so I mean that whole process of the system, how it sets up, again, $199 to $299, which you'll be paying a month for these expired leads. Now, some of the goods about Vulcan 7. Again, love the usability of the software and the website. I love how everything pretty much straightforward. You can just click and drag. I think anyone that if you can pass the real estate exam, you won't have any problem navigating Vulcan 7. I can tell you that. As we know, it's a very hard test. So that is definitely a plus. Now, this could be specific to my market, so I would take this with a grain of salt. A lot of the listings that I got, yes, they were expired, but I didn't get a ton of actual conversations from those listings. There are a ton of numbers, so you might pull up a property, it might have 5 numbers listed. Right now, I selected do not call anybody on the DNC. For those who do not know, that is do not call list. That actually can get you in trouble in some states with your real estate license. So I did not call any numbers that were listed on the DNC. You actually have a button you can click, do not call DNCs, or include DNCs. Only difference is when you pull up when it pulls up the actual page of the listing. The DNCs will be grayed out, the dial button for those. Of course, you can still see the number. But so I didn't have a ton of actual numbers that were either working or were the right people. I got a lot of numbers that were either people that previously lived there, people that were renting there, people that were just associated with that number, or it was an old number. I even got someone's son's number, which luckily enough, he ended up giving me his dad's number, senior. So I was able to generate a prospect that way. And then it's kind of weird, but I even got some numbers that were like businesses, or like I got like a school one time and a university in another state. So, I mean, the numbers they generate, I guess they're just pulling, but I didn't get, I would say, a lot of valuable conversations from those leads. And then, some of those just being that it just wasn't the people that they said it were. You know, on the flip hand, again, that could be my market, maybe just because I'm in rural Georgia, that there's not as many active, up-to-date leads because it's not a big city. Like we're about 25, 30 miles from downtown Atlanta. So, and that's the area that I'm focusing on my real estate license. Maybe if I pick somewhere more in the city, then it would have generated me more valuable phone numbers. But again, that could just be something with my demographics. I mean, so overall, I mean, if you're going to use VULCAN7, then I would say go for it. I mean, for anybody that has the balls to do cold calling, which is what I was doing, I mean, it's a numbers game. You're going to get a lot of phone numbers. Like I said, I would say out of the numbers that I did dial, maybe 20% of them I thought were actual numbers. Maybe I got a voicemail with the person's name on it. Maybe they answered. So I would say maybe 20% of what I was dialing. And so, if those lead to conversations and you're okay with cold calling, just, be mindful that with cold calling, it's a numbers game. You're going to dial about 100 numbers. You may get 20 answers out of that 100, that'd be your 20%. Out of that 20%, you might actually have a 1% of that be actual phone conversation. So in other words, they're not re-listing with the expired agent from before. It is them. They are interested. Sometimes people will put it back up for rent, and you can kind of make that a lead that you can do later down the road. So like for long-term prospecting, I think that would be awesome. Now, of course, if I wanted to add the FISBOs, then I've been paying more for my subscription. I think that was somewhere in the 500 range. Don't quote me on that, but I know I was paying $299 for expires only with the previous 3 months, and this is 2026. Overall, I mean, I would not be too shy about going back to VULCAN, as in like I would use them again. I think just as a new agent, spending $300 a month just in that type of software, a dollar system, probably is a little too much. There are other things that I did that actually made more conversations that'll be in upcoming videos to come. But again, it's your boy Calvin Hill, real estate agent in the state of Georgia. And I look forward to, keep talking to you guys and teaching you. Be good.